And then you did a PhD where you were looking, your thesis, your dissertation, is it a thesis? What is it called, by the way?
Thesis, yeah.
Your thesis.
Well, thesis, potato, right? But yeah.
You're looking at Zimbabwean banking and that so forth. You just, in a nutshell, what were the salient points of your thesis?
So what I wanted to analyze was the relationship between indigenous ownership of banks and profitability, and also some of the crises that we had during that period, 1997. I think if you remember, during that period, we had a near systemic bank failure. We had about 10 banks or so failing, starting with Workers Bank, right up to the failure of a Trust Bank, which was probably what we call then too big to fail, because Trust Bank was an incredibly
impressive,
huge, it was very, very impressive, and also had grown far too quickly. We had Royal Bank as well at the same time, Genesis. We had quite a number of banks that had come up, and some of them owner managed. So what I was analyzing was the circumstances under which they failed, and also the circumstances of ownership that makes banks profitable. So I spent 5 years of my life.
What lessons do we get from that? I mean, clearly after this, a lot of people want to get hold of the thesis.
And one was a lot of corporate governance failures that we had with owner-managed institutions at the time, and also that it doesn't matter the ownership type. You can still be a successful business as long as you're structured right. So institutional capabilities were, I think, systemically lacking in some of the financial institutions that I studied. And I think looking at the way that the banks were set up, and also the fact that banks coming up at the time were beneficiaries of financial liberalization. If you remember, we were coming out of ISAP, and out of that, then we had weak regulation at the time. We also had the contribution, 1 weak regulation, 1 owner management, 3 greed. So we also had quite a lot of people whose banks failed because of greed. So how do you curb that? How do you protect depositors' funds? And how do you strengthen an institution by putting together the capabilities and also the institutional framework that protects not only you as an owner, but your stakeholders, your depositors, and the regulator, and all the other people that are absolutely important in contributing to the strength of the banking sector. And one of the things that I'm finding is that I was very, very passionate about, that I pulled out, was the health of a financial institution in any country. It's actually directly related to the economic growth of an economy. And I think the struggle that we had in the banking sector at the time actually reflects in the downhill or the trend that we saw in the economy in the beginning of the new century.